Hello everyone, welcome to Andrini Field here for the varsity baseball matchup between the Kiski Cougars and Leechburg High School. On the mound, starting off for the Cougars here in the top of the first is Zach Hegedus. Caleb Leachok will be catching for him. Austin Gaston at first. The Kohut twins at second and shortstop. Thomas Sally in the third base slot. Out and left is Ben Crew, center Joey Chappie, and in right is Griffin Donahue.
Leading off for the Blue Devils, center fielder number 11, Roman Yurchevich.
Roman Yurchevich, number 11, leading off for Leechburg. Cougars coming off a pair of losses on Wednesday to the Hill Schools. See how they rebound today. And Hegedus delivers strike one for the Cougars. This one's fouled up down the right field line. It's Austin Gaston, and Garris Kohut's going to settle it in underneath it and call Gaston off that ball for the first out of the inning. It's a nice start to the Cougars. They've struggled here at home in the first inning, so we'll see if they can get out of this inning and get off to a good start here this afternoon. Number 21 for Leechburg at the plate. Correz, the batter. Just a bit outside for ball one. 1-0 the count. This one striped out to left. Ben Crew out there to track it down.
Now batting third baseman number 19, John Cericio.
Cericio, number 19, the batter in the 3 spot with a runner on and 1 out. Here in the top of the first, Hegedus on the mound for Kiski will go into the stretch. Had the runner leaning at first. Able to get him leaning there, but not able to get him out as he slides in safely at first. Looks into Cericio to deliver his first pitch. Runner's going to be going. There he goes. And he'll be safe at second from the throw from Caleb Leachok. So the runner goes to second. 1 out. And count is 1-0. This one's off the hands. Nice catch by Garris. Keeps the runner at second, and there's 2 outs now.
Number 6, first baseman Tyler Leach.
Tyler Leach, the number 4 hitter, wearing number 6 today, steps in with 2 outs and a runner at second. Ball 1 gets past Leachok, and the runner, number 21, will advance to third base. Count is 1-0 to Leach. Misses just outside and low. 2-0 the count to Leach. And low. Ball 3. Not sure if it's the warm weather, but it feels like there's a little bit of a different energy from the Cougars here. And Hegedus drops in strike one. Count goes 3-1 to Leach. Looking for his pitch here. This one's popped up out to left. Underneath it is Corbin Kohut as they run in to each other out there in left. But that'll get the Cougars out of the inning. One of the more efficient innings from the Cougars we've seen this season, as they were able to strand one runner at third. So we'll be back with the Cougars' turn at bat here in the bottom of the first. Garris Kohut steps into the plate for the Cougars, facing Corey Correz. And two quick strikes called against Garris. 0-2 the count. Looks up on it, able to put it in play. Not fielded by the third baseman cleanly. And that ball will put Garris on base with Ben Cruz stepping up to the plate for Kiski.
Left fielder, number 13, Ben Cruz.
The lefty steps in, faces his first pitch as Garris takes his lead at first base. Looks at strike one. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, it was a Facebook thing.
Check back to first base is Garris. 0-1 the count. No outs with Crew at the plate. Put in play to the shortstop. Double play ball. And able to turn it. Or the Blue Devils crew makes his way to first, second. So with one out, Austin Gaston, the first baseman, steps into bat.
Number 10, first baseman Austin Gaston.
Ball one sails high up above his head.
Let's go, Austin. Come on, guys. Hey, tag in the back leg. Last time I saw me, it didn't look too good.
Off-speed pitch, not able to drop into the strike zone for ball two. 2-0 the count to Gaston. Crew at first base. Gaston looks at ball number 3 up high. We'll see if Coach Muster has him swinging. 3-0 the count. And strike one, low and outside to Gaston. 3-1 the count. Runner goes. Gaston swings. Throw from the catcher. Not in time as Crew slides in safely. So the count will go full against Gaston. Runner at second and one out in the bottom of the first. Kiski wearing their all grays and the Blue Devils in their bright blue and gray pants. With gray pants. And ball low, called strike 3. So Gaston looking at it for the second out of the inning. Into bat, number 5, Corbin Kohut. Going to try and bring in Crew from second base. Off speed. Drops in below the knees for ball 1. Corbin puts this one in play. It's at the shortstop. Fields it. And out at first is Corbin Kohut. So the Cougars leave one on as we head into the top of the second. The Blue Devils will come to bat. Hegedus on the mound again to start the top of the second against Leonard of Leechburg. Strike one swinging. Thomas Sally on the run. Makes a nice play to get the first out of the inning. One pitch, one out. Those are the kind of innings we like.
Number 4, designated hitter, Brady Sobchak.
Sobchak, the DH for today's game, number 4, steps in with one out and an empty count. Looks at ball one outside. Strike one inside now. 1-1 the count to the batter, number 4.
He doesn't wind up. I didn't notice that before.
Strike two called. 1-2 the count. Not a bad pitch selection as he puts that breaking ball in the dirt. Not able to get the hitter to chase it. Count will go 2-2 with one out. And a nice pitch from Hegedus will sit down the batter for the second out of the inning.
Number 30, right fielder, Jacob Pochabah.
Pochabah, the batter. Hegedus lets that one get up away from him high for ball one. One over to the bag and out of the Leechburg, the batter for Kiski, taking on a new pitcher, Slifer, for Leechburg. Swings, or looks at ball one, excuse me. Want to know the count. Looks at ball two. Fouls this one back into the cage. 2-1 the count to Leechburg with no outs as he's the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second. The Blue Devils making a pitching change after the first inning. Breaking ball. Gets Leechburg swinging through it. Count goes 2-2. This one's fouled down the right field line. Into the bullpen.
Yes. I think he was a year old.
Fouls back another one. Chuck battling against the new pitcher. This one's poked back and off the concession stand. So he's making a new pitcher earn his first out here, throwing a bunch of pitches in this at bat. Chases it in the dirt, past the catcher. I think Leechburg's going to be able to leg that one out. And he does. No call from the umpire, but he shook his head yes, so we'll assume that means safe. Into pinch run is Mosiver Romani.
Courtesy runner for the catcher, number 1, Nick Mosiver Romani.
At the plate is number 6, Griffin Donahue.
Number 6, Griffin Donahue.
Slifer into the stretch. Runner goes inside pitch. Better throw had runner second. Ball 1 delivered to Donahue on that pitch. So it's a 1-0 count with a runner at second and no outs. This one inside. 2-0 the count. Oh, a little bit high, but called strike 1 with 2-1 from Slifer to Donnie. Called breaking ball side. Count 2-2, no outs. Mosiver Romani, the pinch runner at second. This one's put in play down past the third baseman. Mosiver Romani and Griffin with a single, standing at first base with runners on the corners. Thomas Sally comes to bat for Kiski with no outs. Runner goes for Sally. So then the play at center. And runner third. So runner Jake Fidel steps in forward. On to it first. Back in for safely.
He strikes out first. When they throw out, he scores.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not.
Fidel swinging at that first pitch. Goes 0-1 on the count. Runner goes. Fidel puts it in the air. shortstop has to come all the way from second base as he was covering for the runner stealing, and Griffin has to retreat to first base as the number 9 hitter. Joey Chappie steps into the box with 2 outs, the runner at first. Left to do here with the runner on first base. And get played. Who else?
Hey, nobody's there. Griff, nobody's there.
That one's in the dirt, blocked by the catcher for ball 2. 2-2 the count.
Short side, no, you're good.
And swinging on strike 3 is Joey Chappie. So the Cougars, we can just a moment with third and Hagedis on the here to start third. That ball's going to drop into Joey Chappie. Didn't come off the bat clean. But first pitch put in play, so blue balls with the runner on. The pitcher, Slifer, comes back.
Number 7.
Got a big lead off first. Leechburg will out. And Slifer fell him back over the cage. Play. No. Look at this. One Slifer at the plate. Box Slifer. And they'll bring a courtesy runner in to run for the pitcher at first base. Numbers.
Coach Griffin,
Back to the top of the order.
Top of the order for Leechburg, Roman
Yurchevich, the batter with first and second and no outs. So the Cougars in a little bit of trouble here.
See if they can make a play defensively. Bunt attempt. Put in play.
Nobody covering first. Able to get it over there is Garris. So to advance the run.
Chorus stepping into the box now for the Blue Devils.
It's put at the shortstop. Thrown. Gaston not able to stay on the bag. Nice attempt from him. Ref calls him off the bag, and that'll score the runner from third. So here in the top of the third, the Blue Devils able to create a tie ball game. Runners now on the corners. That ball not hit hard enough at Corbin for him really to make a play.
He had a choice to the first base play.
Couldn't come home with it. So runners on the corners, they're going to send the runner. Hagedis
Took him off. Almost got the runner sleeping over there. Off move.
You never allowed to throw to fake first anyway. If you step off, fake first.
This one's down the left field line. Foul. Runners on count. Number 9. Pick off at first end. Runner goes. Caleb Leachcock, the catcher, holds the ball and let's Chorus have the base. So it's two batter players and one out. And so
the Sally thought he had I think he thought he had a force out at third. He didn't. So the runner will score from third. And a throwing error over to first base lets the batter now stand at first base. So we've got runners at first and third with one out. And Cougars now trail by one in the clear.
number 6, Leach, steps into the box for the Blue Devils. One low.
Catches him reaching on that curveball. 1-1 the count now to Leach. They decide to keep the runner at first for this at bat, at least to this point. We'll see if they send him. They don't. Put in the dirt. And the wild pitch will score number 21. And the Cougars will trail 3-1 here in the top of the third.
What did you say about a previous score with them?
Looks like there's going to be a mound visit. We'll come back in just a second. Runner at second, 3-1 the count to Leach. He pops it up. Leachok gonna have to scramble to get under it. That's a tough play for the catcher. So the count will go full. 3 to the count to Leach with 1 out and one runner at second base.
This kind of plays come back to heart.
I didn't see it. Did it hit his glove?
And a nice pitch from Hegedus. We'll have Leach sitting down looking. So 2 outs, and number 18 comes to bat.
Foul ball. Is that an error?
To him, runner still at second base with outs. Not able to.
Make the play as it drifted on him. Count goes 1-1 to Leonard.
I think there's a reason this play worked.
1-1, nice block from Leachok for ball 2 in the dirt. 2-1 the count to Leonard. 2 outs. We'll see if the Kiski Cougars can get out of this inning without giving up another run. So far, giving up 3 this inning. It's put into play. It's at Thomas Sally at third. And routine throw gets the Cougars out of the inning.
After 2.5, score.
And what they've been able to do this season is make comebacks, keep it close. So we'll see if they can score here in the bottom of the third.
Number 9, Garris. Go ahead.
For the bottom of the third, it's going to be Garris Kohut back at the top of the order for Kiski. Fouls off his first pitch. And drops that breaking ball in for strike 2. So quickly Garris out with an 0-2 count against him. Going to be battling. Able to score on his or get on base as he gets hit. So he'll take his base.
Luckily, it was a nice soft breaking. Shouldn't have caused too much
damage. And Crew will step in
now with a runner at first and no outs. Diving back into first is Garris as he has substantial lead. Able to get back though.
You got beat, right? Did he get beat the last time?
Straight cold on the outside against Crew. 0-1 the count.
His hand somewhere.
He ended his
Last year. Oh, shit, I didn't realize that. I forgot about that.
Garris diving back in again at first.
following him less this year. Oh, yeah.
We'll see if Coach Muster's going to send Kohut. He's usually pretty aggressive on the base pads. He goes, pitch out, throws there,
and bouncing in.
late is the throw from the catcher as Garris slides into second safely. So pitch out. Still not enough to get Garris out at second. So runner moves to scoring position, and Crew looks at 1-1 and drops in that strike for a 1-2 count. So he's going to be battling, fighting anything off here that looks close. Throws his hands at it and puts it back out of play.
Shot down the first base line.
Get through.
And the out will be made at first base. And aggressive from Garris.
Gets him over to third base. So runner at third as Austin Gaston steps in with one out. Slifer still on the mound for the Blue Devils.
Stand up for second run for the Cougars.
So here in the bottom of the third, Kiski puts one on the board, cutting that lead in half, and now trail 3-2. Bases empty, a 1-0 count to number 10, Austin Gaston. Ball low, 2-0 the count. It's put past the third baseman out in the left.
Gaston makes the turn and standing at first with one out
And a single. Corbin Kohut now at bat for Kiski, the number 4 hitter.
He's hitting so well, I think I'm seeing double. Classic Crew. Classic Cruiser, cruise control. Come on, 5 months ago.
Yes, conservative lead at first. Corbin thinks about swinging at that off-speed pitch. Looked sort of like a change up from Slifer. Goes 0-1. Chases that one in the dirt. Gaston gets. Count is 0-2 to Corbin Kohut. Swung. And a strike ball. So he'll go down looking for the second out of the inning. And up now the catcher, number 7, Caleb Leechburg. Austin standing at second. More or less having a conversation with the shortstop as Leechburg swings at strike 1, 0-1 the count. Off-speed pitch had him out in front of it. This one's put down the right field line,
And it'll be in the trees.
4 straight 2 to Caleb Leach. Gaston will make the trot back to second base. And so we'll see what Slifer has in store with a pitcher's count against Caleb Leachhawk. I'm calling breaking ball. Oh, he doesn't. He goes fastball. Leachhawk battles away. Slifer may be a little bit hesitant to throw that curveball as Leachhawk put that one out into the trees down the right field line. Right fielder thinks he moved over a little bit. He wasn't in left or right center, but Leachhawk will go down swinging. Strike 3. And Cougars able to put 1 on the board and leave 1 straight at second and top of the 4th with the Blue Devils back at bat. Oh, 2 the count from Hegedus. Drops in strike 3. Sits down the first out of the inning. Hochiba, the batter for Leechburg. Hegedus delivers ball 1. 1-0 the count. Fouls that one off. 4, strike 1. Coach Kwiatek with a nice sprint out to get that foul ball. 1-1 the count. puts this one in play. Right at Gaston at first for the second out of the inning. And at bat number 23 for Leechburg.
Number 23, Jake Bloomer.
Puts it in play right at second baseman Garris Kohut. And Cougars not able to get out of the inning. So runner on first with 2 outs. It's number 17, Slifer, the pitcher, now at the plate. That one's put in play out in the left field, and the runners will advance to first and second. This is how the Cougars get into trouble. So we'll see if they can get out of this inning unscathed.
Number 11.
Top of the order for Leechburg. This one's fouled back out of play. 0-1 the count. Runners at first and second. 0-1 the count. Drops in a breaking ball. Doesn't get the batter to chase it. So 1-1 the count. It's a pretty dangerous pitch to throw with runners on base, but Leachhawk able to block it. Blocks this one, but it gets away. And the runners will advance to second and third. Ball 2 up above the head of the batter. 2-1, or excuse me, 3-1 the count to the batter at the plate. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. And gets a nice strike called for strike number 2. Count goes full count. And 2 outs. See if the Cougars can avoid the damage here. Put in play right at the first base coach. Needed to stay down on that one. And ball 4 up above the head of number 11. So Corez comes to bat.
Number 21, Corey Torres.
Bases loaded with 2 outs. An all too familiar situation for Kiski this season, unfortunately. We'll see if they can avoid the juggernaut here. Ball 1. Put in play right at Garris Kohut. And so the Cougars dodge a bullet on that one. And they will keep the score at 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 4th.
At the plate, number 6, Griffin Donahue.
Looks at ball one inside.
Puts this one in play right at the second baseman.
And a routine out for the Blue Devils. Number 4, Thomas Sally, looks at ball one. Here with one out in the top of the fourth, or the bottom of the fourth, excuse me. Swings. That'll get through out into left field. And Sally's standing on first with a single as Jake Fidel comes to the bat. Pass ball for ball one will advance the runner as Jake Fidel now stands there with a 1-0 count. Strike one, Fidel out in front of it. 1-1 to count. Ball almost hits him.
Did look a little inside. Oh, he made a face.
Fidel puts it in play out to second. Throw high. First baseman able to jump and come back down on the bag. 2 outs. Runner advances to third. To third. And Joey Chappie now at the plate for Kiski.
Joey Chappie.
And Chappie stripes one out to center. He'll score the tying run. It's Thomas Sally coming across the plate. And Chappie stands at first as Garris Kohut comes into the batter's box for Kiski. Ball one to Garris. Cougars have a little bit of life here in the bottom of the fourth. Strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count to the number 1 hitter, Garris. Put in play, and it rolls foul for strike 2. 1-2 the count. Chappie with the RBI to tie it here in the bottom of the fourth, stands at first.
Hey, what up, Free? Hey, Nine, you're my hero. Hey, Free, saddle up. That's a big lead. That's a big lead.
Breaking ball put out to center. And the center fielder playing shallow, able to get underneath it and make the out. Not before the Cougars tie it at 3 as we head into the top of the 5th. Cericio, the batter for Kiski, the number 3 hitter, looks at ball 1 down across the shins from Zach Hegedus, still pitching strong for the Cougars. Now in a tie ball game, 3-3 and a 1-0 count. Puts this one in play. It's shallow. Out from the shortstop position is Corbin Kohut. First out of the inning. And the number 4 hitter, Leach, now at the plate.
Number 6, Tyler Leach.
Yeah.
Looks like the Blue Devils are going to send somebody out into the bullpen to warm up, so we'll see if we have a pitching change next inning. And Hegedus lobs that curveball or off-speed pitch in there for ball 1.
So what are the Steelers going to do in the draft?
An athlete.
Ball 2 down low in the dirt.
Try to go after athletes.
2-0 the count with 1 out.
I lost a lot of interest in it. I hardly watch it.
What do they need? Inside linebacker.
This one, Leach throws his hands at it. It's out shallow to Chappie, and center field who gloves it down and gets the second out of the inning for Kiski. Leonard, the batter, number 18, now in to bat.
Why did they release him? Wasn't he like their
No, he wasn't starting. He was 32, 33 years old.
Okay. Number 18, Mario Leonard.
Ball 1 up high to Leonard.
Wasn't he like their slot corner? And he came in their nickel
Yeah,
package?
but he was like the back. That Mike Hilton. Is that his name? Hilton? Hilton kind of took over.
That's kind of a new position, isn't it?
2-0 the count to Leonard on that off-speed pitch up across his eyes.
3 out, 2.
And ball 3 outside. So a 3-0 count to Leonard. I'm sure the coach will have him sitting back on this pitch, waiting for a strike from Hegedus. And right down the pipe, Zach does what he needed to do to keep the batter at the plate. Makes it a 3-1 count. See if he can get Leonard to swing and put it in play. He does. It's off the hands. Another blooper out to the second baseman, Garris Kohut. And that'll end the inning as Kiski keeps it tied 3-3. We'll head into the bottom of the 5th. Ben Crew at the plate. Puts that one in play and dribbles foul for strike one to lead off the bottom of the fifth here for Kiski. Crew, the number 2 hitter here in the lineup, faces an 0-1 count. Puts this one out to center. Looks like he's having some trouble with it, but he's able to track it down out there in center field for the first out of the inning. We have a new pitcher on the hill, Cericio, and Austin Gaston at the plate for Kiski.
Calls it foul. Turn around and it rolls back in.
When did it roll back in? Before it reached first base?
Yeah.
Then it's a fair ball.
But
Gaston puts it in play. It's back to the shortstop. He's deep in the hole. And not able to scoop it is the first baseman. So Gaston safe at first.
He should never have called a foul until it either passed first.
And at the plate now, the cleanup hitter,
First base.
number 5, Corbin Kohut at the plate now.
It's still rolling. And it's not passed.
Gaston at first. Strike one to Corbin Kohut.
I was playing in a game and I hit the ball.
0-1 the count to Kohut.
But it rolled.
Gaston, again conservative at first base, not the
Turn around and start coming back. Well, it rolls back in.
fastest runner. So he stays put
And I'm like,
at first base, and
first I'm out because I'm already walking back to the dugout.
I think they called that one a ball.
But if he calls foul,
So the count
why would he call foul?
looks like 1-1.
Still rolling, right?
And Corbin with a big cut for strike 2. 1-2 the count with 1 out. And a runner at first facing a new pitcher, Cericio of Leechburg. Put in play and fouled by Corbin.
Yeah, once it hit him in the ball, so it's a foul.
1-2 the count with 1 out. Gaston still at first base.
Runs here.
And Kohut looking at strike 3 for the second out of the inning. And into bat is Caleb Leachok, the catcher,
Number 7.
looking to
Leechburg.
ignite the Cougars here with 2 outs.
Yeah, with 2 strikes.
Especially because like this guy's been calling strikes.
Gaston flops back into first base safely.
At least foul calls.
Leachok can be lethal if he makes contact. We'll see. He puts it in air and proves me wrong. This one's out to the shortstop, and he gloves it to end the inning. So the Cougars leave 1 out there after a short inning. We'll head to the top of the 6th, tied at And we'll start the top of the 6th. Hegedus still on the mound for Kiski. Faces the catcher, number 9.
They're lucky the kids go out.
They got lucky they have enough kids to play.
Swings and off a Leechburg.
I'm telling you, even with the face mask on, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
That is belly.
Leechburg able to shake that one off. 0-1 the count. This one fouled off the cage.
That's how they found out.
0-2 the count. Here as Hegedus faces the first batter.
He kept getting balls fouled off. Just kept having issues like ringing in the ears.
Who was this?
And ball, strike 3. Leechburg out and able to throw the runner out after the strikeout.
That was Ross. His last name Ross. Played for the Pirates.
Into bat now, number 30.
Because he would do commercials for UPMC or something.
One out. Here as number 30 steps into the box. And Hegedus brushes him back a little bit for ball 1. And ball 2.
Problem way.
The other one's his way. 4.
And out in front of that one for strike 1. 2-1 the count with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. This one's blooped back. It's going to be a tough play. Gaston able to backpedal and not trip on the edge of the grass. So that's good for strike 2, or out 2 on strike 2 there. And with 2 outs, Jake Bloomer, number 23, steps into bat against Hegedus. Leechburg tries to frame that one low, and ball 1 to Bloomer.
How's it sound on there? Does it sound pretty good?
And Hegedus bounces that one for a 2-0 count to Bloomer. Cougars looking to get out of this inning quickly.
It's pretty clear. Jump over.
And Bloomer jumps out of the way of that pitch. So a 3-0 count from Hegedus to Jake Bloomer of the Blue Devils. See if Zach can settle down, just put one across the plate. And walks him on 4 straight pitches. So that'll put a runner on. And number 7 comes to bat for Leechburg. Looks like Coach Muster's going to come out. Hegedus well up over 70 pitches, so looks like there's going to be a pitching change. Nice job by Zach today. Austin Gaston looks like he's going to be coming in to pitch for the Cougars. We'll see what other defensive changes here as the Austin gets his chance to warm up. We'll be back in just a second. So Austin Gaston comes in. Crew, Ben Crew now at first base.
Don't.
And a pickoff attempt at first. Jason Kachowski comes into the game. He's in right field. Griffin Donahue moves from right to left. And Crew from left into first as Gaston comes into pitch. I'm sure that might be hard to follow. But they do have a runner on with 2 outs. Put in play at Sally off his glove. And the runners will stay safe at first and second. We're back to the top of the order for the Blue Devils.
Number 11, Roman Yurchevich.
Yurkovich, the leadoff hitter. And Coach Muster's going to come out and discuss the situation with his infield. And we'll be back in just a moment. So it looks like Austin Gaston was having an issue with his arm. He's coming off of a shoulder injury, so he was rehabbing. So he went out there to try, and it didn't go well for him. So Griffin Donahue comes into the game, and ball one goes wild past Caleb Leachok, and the runners will advance to second and third. So a familiar situation again here for the Cougars. Hopefully they can get out of this inning. They've got 2 outs. They're right there. They just need to make a play. See if Griff can throw some strikes. And number 11 fouls a bunt out of play. Count is 1-1 with runners at second and third for the leadoff runner. And strike two called. 1-2 the count. Looked like a pitch in a similar location. This time it's called a ball. So 2-2 the count. And strike three called as Griffin comes in and gets the Cougars out of trouble. And we'll head into the bottom of the sixth with a tie ball game. And the Cougars at bat. Leading off the bottom of the sixth is Griffin Donahue.
Number 6, Griffin Donahue.
Still on the mound is Cericio for Leechburg. Ball one, down low. Griff able to check that one and make it a 1-0 count. And that one hits him, so the Cougars will have a batter, or a runner on base, excuse me, with Thomas Sally coming to bat for Kiski.
Number 4, Thomas Sally.
And check over to first for Griffin from Cericio. Ball in the dirt. Catcher able to block it.
Catcher? Yeah. His arm's not bad.
This one catches better than the first one.
Oh, this is different catcher.
Yeah, I think it started.
And strike to Sally. Count goes 1-1.
Because I didn't give the number. I think it must have been 9.
Put in play right at the second baseman.
Nice play.
Able to snag it. Throw is off target. Runner's going to advance to third base. Runners at first and third. And right fielder Jason Kachowski now comes to bat. Kachowski with his first at bat here, as coming in to the right field position, puts it in play, and it goes foul down the right field line with the runner going. Thomas Sally over at first has to retreat back to first base. Strike inside for an 0-2 count against Kachowski. So we'll see what they're going to do here with rough count. Runner goes. Kachowski swings. And he fouls it off. Sally again has to make his way back to first base. 0-2 the count.
What happened there?
Runner goes again. This time Kachowski puts it in play. Nice play by the center fielder. I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to make a play at third, and Sally thrown out at third. So diving play by the center fielder almost makes the play out there in center. The Cougars do score a run. It makes it 4-3 in favor of Kiski, as Kachowski now stands on first base, and the number 9 hitter, Joey Chappie, stands at Joey Chappie on the or at bat, excuse me, as Kachowski stands on first. This is a new pitcher, Shinko from Leechburg, and looks at ball one. 1-0 the count to Chappie. Fouled out of play. 1-1 the count. Joey with a big RBI last at bat. We'll see if he can advance the runner here. Only one out, so still some room here for the Cougars. Puts it in play right at the second baseman.
Dig it!
And he makes the play at second. And Chappie is safe at first, and we're back to the top of the order with Garris Kohut. Shortstop can't make the throw as Garris legs it out. 2 outs, and runners at first and second with Ben Crew coming up to bat.
14, Ben Cruz.
Cougars leading 4-3 here, looking to increase that lead and carry it to get the Blue Devils at 1 lead. Pitching change for the Cougars here in the top of the 7th. It's Nate Manko on the mound. Out and right, Griffin Donahue, and in left is Ben Crew. Number 21 puts it. Chappie was playing shallow, not able to get it tracked down out in center. And play at second. So a leadoff double for number 21 for the Blue Devils. Gives them a little bit of life here against Manko and the Cougars. At bat number 18. Excuse me, number 19. The 3-hitter. Cericio, the pitcher, now faces Manko. No outs and a runner at second. Goes right at him and fouled out a play by Cericio over the grandstands along the first base side. 0-1 the count. Manko steps off the rubber. Settles back in the stretch. Gets his pitch and delivers. Manko with that knuckleball. Called for a ball. 1-1 the count to Cericio. Strike. called down by the knees. 1-2 the count. We'll see if the Cougars can handle the pressure here as they're defending their lead in the 7th. Putting the play out in the left. It's going to drop in front of Ben Crew. And they hold him at second. Or excuse me, at third. And the runner at first is safe. So runners on the corners for the Blue Devils. And the cleanup hitter, Tyler Leach, steps into the box.
Number 6, Tyler Leach.
See what the Cougars do here defensively. Looks like they're going to, if the ball gets hit, they're going to let that run score. Happy in, makes the throw home.
Second. So a rare triple play for the Cougars ends the ball game.
And Kiski will win the game here in outstanding fashion with the rare, let me see, 8-2-5 triple play for the Cougars. So thanks for joining us here. We had a burner to end it. Congratulations to the Cougars on their defeat of Leechburg. And they'll be back in action tomorrow against Wench Branch from Ohio. Thanks for joining us, and have a great Friday night.